Hi there, everyone. My name is Preetam, and I welcome you all to Negitech. This is my first live stream, and if you have got any kind of questions or doubt, you can for sure ask me in this live streaming. The topic of this live streaming is all about building a budget PC. So here we kept our budget as 50K, and actually, I already bought this particular configuration, and soon I will also launch a video on it. But before that, I also would like to go live and like to talk about this particular configuration. And if you also want to build, so in that situation or scenario, you can always ask me uh, the question why I went for this particular one, and you also would like to go with this configuration, then for sure you can also check it out. So welcome everybody. So we can get started. I am feeling little nervous since this is going to be my first live stream. I hope that it will work as I am expecting. So just give me a minute. I'm gonna share all the component of this Intel PC build that cost me less than 50,000. And this PC is for those people who are looking for a productivity setup, which where we are running Microsoft Office, let's say Premiere Pro, these kind of softwares. Since we are not using GPU, optionally we can let's say you want to convert this to a gaming rig, but here at this particular budget I don't think so that we will able to get a GPU as well. So let's start with our first component. So the first component here I have used is Corsair Spec 05 mid tower cabinet. And the reason I went for this particular one is I got this combination at 6,500. But unfortunately, as I can see here, the price now got increased, and yep, you can see here if you are also using price tracker the way I am using. It costed me only 6,600 or 6,599 to be precise, but now it is costing us 10,500. But not to worry, I can show you one other alternative because I will not recommend you for this price you get this, both items. You can go with actually and 650 watt power supply. Yep, you can go with this one, or let's see, because when I will open this power supply, I'm pretty sure that they have different configurations. Okay, so we can go with this 600 watt power supply. So we are starting with power, huh? So the first component here I would recommend you to choose is this particular power supply. Although this is toward cheaper side, but don't think that this is not the good one. I have made several PC using this particular power supply, and I would say this worked perfectly well in low and mid-tier configuration system. And let me have a look if they also provide some kind of rating. Okay, although there is no such a rating mentioned here, like whether this power supply is gold rated or bronze rated or silver rated, but still I would say this will work perfectly fine. But let's say you do not want to take a chance and you want a power supply with certain rating, then let's find, yep, this one. So if you believe on ratings, then you can for sure go with this. But this one is only 450 watts. Let's search for 600-watt power supply. This one looks good, but it is again toward expensive side. And then let me also open Microsoft Excel so that we keep on listing these items. And not to worry guys, I'm gonna also put all these links in the description of this video so that you can check them out later on. So let's start with our PSU. Okay. So what I was recommending initially was from Corsair, and unfortunately we saw the increase in price. And no worry, let's choose where it went. Okay, we can. I was looking for this Ant one. Yeah, this one is good, and you can also see I bought it last year and I'm pretty satisfied with this one. So you can go either with this one, and this power supply cost me will cost you 2261. And then again, if I see here, there is a discount. There will be always discount going on in Amazon. Um, here you can see with different cards. Now let's move on toward cabinet. I would wanted to go with this particular one, spec 05, but since this is now toward expensive side, and let me again have a look. Corsair. Nope. Okay, this one looked terrible. I'm not going to recommend this one. So when we talk about cabinets, some of folks prefer a good looking cabinet, but then again, cabinet is not something that make any kind of performance impact in your hardware, but at the same time the cabinet should be very decent or good enough so that the flow, the airflow should be optimum. So in a way, it does not make any difference when we talk about performance, but at the same time, as I said, the cabinet should be designed in a way that there should be good airflow. And let's say I mean, in India, we know how much is the pollution and how much is the dust. So again, we need to look for a cabinet where we are getting all kind of nets, because nowadays we see magnetic nets are there. So make sure that your cabinet comes with that kind of thing, such that we avoid dust going inside your motherboard, your fan, and then causing damage to very delicate electronic components. So let me find a decent cabinet here. This one look really nice. We can consider this one. This one also look nice. And at this price point or at this budget, I won't recommend you to go with the expensive one. Okay? So let me actually find some of other cabinet that I bought previously was from Anti-Sports, I guess. Anti-Sports cabinet. Okay. How about this one? This one have a decent grill in the front, and then this cabinet support ATX, micro ATX, mini ITX. I would say nobody should write these things because every cabinet is compatible. Most of cabinet are compatible with all sizes of motherboard. And then it comes with 3 pre-installed fans. that I would say is really great. And um, I have bought two or three Ant esports cabinet, and if we talk about their build quality, they are pretty decent for the price we pay. I would say, they are value for money, even better than Corsair Spec 5 that I was referring to. But the only reason I was going with that particular one because that comes with, inbuilt power supply. But again, it will cost you. It costed me 6,400. And if we see here, let's say if we go with this particular one, 3490. Let me copy this and paste the link. If we go with this particular one, it won't cost us. It is just costing us 5,751, which again is less than what I actually paid for this model. Let's say you do not like this color, then I would suggest you to go with. And yes, one another important reason why I love Aunt E Sports Cabinet because first of all, we saw that it came up with three pre-installed fans, which means that airflow will be excellent, and they comes with net actually, so which is awesome guys for this price point. Even with spec O5 I did not find net, which is I would say the downside that I saw with that one. However, when we talk about these Ant Sports cabinet, they are actually slightly tiny, so that's how they are saving some material and creating some margins. So yeah, but I would say they are perfectly fine. So we have finalized PSU, we have finalized cabinet, and let's say you do not like that one, then we can actually go with this particular one. And let's say you also would like to go with combination, then this one is decent enough. So this one is Ant eSport 130 AZ mid tower plus VS 500L. And I can also recommend this one since this can easily power Core i5 that I am planning to propose at this price point. Yes, but if you are planning to add graphic card, then for sure you should go with power supply of higher wattage. This one also look pretty good. I can actually mention it. PSU and cabinet. Okay, from Ant, and then actually I can keep it here. And the price here is 4865. Okay, now let's explore more cabinets. Oh my god, they start sponsoring all these cabinets with power supply, which look awesome, but at the same time there used to be dedicated cabinet only configuration. They are not sponsoring maybe because it costs them more, and then these cabinet are available at very little margin. As you can see here, the price is decent enough. So I would suggest you to go with any of these cabinet. They look awesome, and you may see the price also vary. So let me talk about the cabinet that actually I bought, and then I went. So the first cabinet here is this one. So this one I bought in past, and I have made a PC configuration, and this cost only 2,990. And from my personal experience, I would say Maybe this cabinet is not that huge, not that decent enough in terms of looks, but for sure it works, and then it is really value for money, I would say. Okay, let me just copy this, and then I'm gonna add it here. If let's say you do not like white color, you can go with cabinet 2, and then this one only costs 2990. Similarly, there is this one, then this one. So no matter, one thing I would like to again, let you know, no matter which variant you choose, the sizes of these cabinet will remain same. Size means length, width, and height. They are almost same. So based on your need, you can go with any one. Now let's move on from cabinet and power supply towards CPU. So CPU, I would say it is pretty straightforward, as we decided to go with Intel one. And the CPU here I propose to go with is 12th generation Core i5. I will let you know the reason why I am saying that we should go with this one. So first of all, this is hexa-core CPU and comes with decent amount of L3 cache. If we talk about its base clock, it is at 2.5 gigahertz, and if we talk about this is not a complete spec, I would say. The turbo boost goes up to 4.4. Let me open Intel Arc to show you guys, and then I can actually close all these one. You can actually go with this one as well, so I'm gonna keep this link also in the description. Let me open this cabinet. I would say that if you want to spend more money on it, you can buy anyone, but these are some of decent one. You can for sure go with these one. Okay, now let me just close this one as well. And the PSU, I already have listed two. Let me actually find one more PSU, because I was talking about a rated PSU as well. Although we already have added one from Jabronics, but let's go with some branded one. Cooler Master. We can go with this one. So this one cost us 4,100, and I don't think so that it should cost that much. These companies, keep on increasing the price. We can go with Deep Cool one as well. Although they are famous for their fans, but still they make a decent power supply. Okay, so let's say you do not want to go with non-rated, or let's say you do not want to go with Jabronics, then we can go with these one. Let me actually place it here. So let me make this URL short. And if you guys also buy from these links, I will also get some credit without changing the price you pay. 4190. And I'm gonna put all these configuration in the description of this video so you can buy anyone you like. Okay. I'm sorry guys. As I keep on speaking, so I feel that I need to get some water. So deep cool 650. Now let me close this one. Then we have this Cooler Master MWE. So these both supplies are bronze certified. Let me take out this PSUN cabinet and place it here. Okay. So the first three are power supply, then these three are cabinet, and if you want to go with PSUN cabinet, you can go with it. Although we have multiple, but it's fine. You can go with other as well. As I said before, these things matter, but not that much. I mean, obviously, we need to define the power rating. So we have defined that we want a power supply at 650 watt ballpark, so that later on, if you decide to go with GPU, you will have that expandability option. Obviously, you may not integrate 4090 here, or AMD 7000 XTX, but for sure you can add 4060, 3070, easy enough. You can easily add those kind of GPUs, 4060 Ti as well. Okay, now coming to our next component, which was CPU. So here we can see the CPU we have selected, and you can also see I recently bought this one. Okay, so the CPU here is 17,299, and then we were talking about its spec. So I'm gonna show you the spec as well. Let me open Intel Arc, and then I'm gonna put this 12400. Okay, and I also would like to compare it with Intel, not with 136, Intel 13 generation, which is the latest one. I would like to compare it with 13 generation, same model, which is 13400. So here you will see the lithography is same, which means that both these processors have a 10 nanometer lithography. Intel call it Intel 7, which is very confusing. Let me actually have a look whether okay. So here we can see the total number of core in 12th generation is 6. However, in 13th generation it's 10, but then again 6 cores are performance core. Here as well we have 6 cores in case of 12th generation. These 4 cores are nothing but just efficiency cores. So let's say your CPU is idle, then the cores will switch to efficiency core. I would say that apart from efficiency, you may not see, any kind of difference. Yes, but here is the difference. The max turbo frequency for 12th generation is 4.4 gigahertz. And don't go on these core count, because I believe either these cores will work or these cores will work. They're not going to work together. So yeah, that's the thing. So here we can see the max turbo frequency is 4.4 gigahertz, and here it's 4.6 gigahertz. So if we see their PC benchmark of both these processor, you will see 10 to 15% performance gain when compared to 12 generation. I won't say that's a huge deal, since both these processors are in same lithography, and then there is no such major difference. And the price gap, if I talk about, let's say here, this 12th generation is available for 17,300, although I'm definitely sure that you can get a discount by applying some coupons there. But let's have a look of the price of this Core i5-13400. So this one is available at 23,523, which is crazy high, guys. 23,526, and then you subtract 17,299, something like this. So you are paying hefty amount of money for the performance gain that you get. So that's why I recommend you to go with 12th generation Core i5-12400. Yeah. So since there is no change in lithography and the performance gain is not that high, whether we speak about single core performance or multi-core, therefore I would suggest you to go with this one. Okay, so this was the reason why I have chosen this 12th generation Core i5-12400, and then this one comes with integrated graphics, so you do not need to worry about having external GPU. You can use that. Now let me just quickly keep it 12400. So this one, and then you can also see I also have bought this. So it's not like I'm recommending you something which I'm not using. Even though I can recommend you something that I am not using, but this one I am personally using. So if you can believe on my words. Okay, so we already have added. What next? Let's jump into RAM. Okay. So if we talk about RAM, and I would say before RAM, let's go with motherboard. So the motherboard here, I recommend you to go with, since this is mid-core, mid-tier system, where we have kept productivity in mind. So we are looking for a system where the end user want it to use it for productivity softwares. I would like to go with B760M. So B stand for business, and this board is decent enough, So you can either go with B760M or you can also go with 660M. If let's say 660M is cheaper. No? Okay. So we can actually go with B760M. There's E, considering budget in mind, and then I believe it offers all the bells and whistle, unless you want to use let's say high FPS monitor with this setup, because This motherboard comes with HDMI only, and let's say if you have a high FPS monitor, then your your refresh rate will be locked to 120 hertz. So this is some limitation of having HDMI only. Let me actually have a look because I was aware of 2K HDMI output for let's say you want to go with 1080p monitor. Okay, let me ask ChatGPT instead. Since I have the premium one, maybe this one may give me accurate result. Can HDMI 2.0 run support 165 hertz at 1080p? I hope it will give me answer. And that's right, it support 165 hertz, or let me ask, what is the max refresh rate supported by HDMI? Okay, since I believe this board that I was referring to have you know, we can actually also open MSI website to see the complete spec. So let's click here on specification. Okay, okay, so this one is HDMI 1.4. Sometime, you know, we do not go through these specs, and then later on we realize that we haven't bought the correct item. So here we have HDMI 1.4 support. Okay, so let's keep it aside because I do not want to waste all my time in just finding. But for sure, it will support a resolution up to 120 hertz. This is, I am saying from my own experience. And then 120 hertz in case of 2K monitor. Unfortunately, I don't have any 1K monitor or 1080p monitor where I can check how much it support in case of 1K. Okay, let me actually go back to motherboard. So this board I would say is decent enough, going to fulfill all your need. And then we were also seeing the kinds of IO that this board offer. So this board support all these frequency of RAM, starting with 2400 basic DDR4 and goes up to 4800, which is the boundary of DDR4 RAM. After this we have DDR5. So and I will let you know why we have opt for DDR4, not for DDR5. because of the cost factor, obviously, and we do not see significant performance gain or difference. Um, since I am also using DDR5 RAM 6000 megahertz and I have paid 20,000 rupees just to get that 6000 megahertz RAM, and I have 3 or 4 systems available with me, and I don't see any significant jump or significant difference just because of higher clock rate of RAM. And the again, I would say the frequency do not tell you the whole story. There are other factors as well, for example latency. So when we talk about the RAM that have a higher frequency, at the same time we need to sacrifice with latency. And when we sacrifice with latency, then again the product of all these things make your RAM not that fast. Okay? So whenever we buy RAM, please do not only look for RAM speed but also look for the RAM latency. Okay, so let's not make that too big. What I'm saying is this board is capable enough of supporting all DDR4. Then it also have onboard graphics and have HDMI 1.4. Then it comes with one PCIe into 16 slot, the complete slot. That's great, where you can feed your GPU. Then it also comes with one PCIe into one slot, only one lane. Then we also have got PCIe 4.0 Gen 4 slot, and then we have Gen 3 slot also available. That I would say is a good enough expansion slots for mid-tier system, since you can add your GPU, and then there are some slot where let's say you want to further expand by adding, let's say, external Ethernet or Wi-Fi. You can do that. Then for storage, we have got one M.2 slot, which is great, I would say. And then obviously you can use these slots to put another M.2 in case you need two M.2 drive. You can buy one adapter and can use these slots. Then if I talk about the RAID, it support all kind of RAID configuration, as it also have 6 SATA ports, not 6 actually, 4 SATA ports, I'm sorry. So if you want to create RAID configuration, that is also possible with it. Then it have got 4 USB 2, 4 USB 2 in rear and front, 2 USB 3.2 Gen 1, which have a speed of 10 Gbps, I guess. Then 2 at front. If we talk about LAN, then it have got 1 gigabyte of Realtek gigabit LAN, which I would say is typical. I don't know why we are not seeing the LAN bandwidth. They are not increasing, despite now we have got so many memory lane coming out of CPU. We should utilize them in LAN as well. I don't know how that happened, but companies should figure it out. Especially when we create a NAS drive, it is very essential to have, the LAN with higher bandwidth or higher capacity. Now, but for internet, I don't think so that it is decent enough. Now, coming to audio, it support 7.1 channel high definition audio, which I would say is great for the price you pay. Then here we can see furthermore I/O, power connector, then ATX power, which obviously we need both these. Without this, we may not able to boot the motherboard. So I don't think so that they should write these things. Then there is a CPU fan, system fan, front panel. Obviously there will be then chassis intrusion, front audio, COM port, all sorts of. So Obviously now we require TPN 2.0 to install Windows 11, so this board is Windows 11 compatible as well, which obviously it needs to be. So it have got all kind of bells and whistle, I would say. Now, let me actually, and then I hate this kind of, standard M.2 screw that it comes with. Okay, so board we can go with this one, since this one is not that expensive and meets all our requirement, and it costs only 9,590. Okay, so PSU we have finalized, cabinet we have finalized, then CPU we have finalized, motherboard we have finalized. And if you are looking for a fan, then I would say that stock fan work really well. You do not need to buy a separate fan. So that's again a cost saving. We do not need to go with separate fan. Okay. Now, what left actually? Okay, RAM. So we will talk about RAM, and then we will also talk about one important thing. If in your system, in your neighbor, you see frequent power cut, then I'm gonna recommend you a good UPS as well. Okay, coming to RAM, let me actually open it. I would recommend you to go with 32 megahertz, 16 gigabyte RAM, and especially the CL16 one. So this one, this RAM look fancy, but is not good enough. And then I'm looking for desktop RAM, so I'm gonna mention it. Okay, so this I would say is very decent one. And believe me guys, you do not need to buy these RAMs in pair, because I don't know why they cost that high. So we can go either with this RAM, and then I also would like to recommend one more company. Okay, this one also we can go with. This one for sure we will not. Never. Because this is not that great. There is one more company there. Yep, this one I was looking for. This is, I would say, slightly toward costlier side, but is good enough. So all these three RAMs, if you see what's common among them, these all RAM are except this one. This one is not good one. This one is CL19, and I don't want to go with CL19. Let's remove that. So these both RAM. Let me again have a look. Okay, okay, I know this one. This one is CL16. So we can go with this one. And then we can also go with this one. So based on your need or the brand you prefer, you can go with either of these. And if I talk about value for money, then for sure this one is more value for money. Therefore, I'm gonna mention this one here. In the price here, what we are paying is 3099, which is very decent, I would say, for the kind of RAM that you are getting. And these were the RAM which were very costly when they were launched in past. And let's go with two sticks. So we are actually going for 32 gigabyte of RAM. Okay, so we need a motherboard, and the CPU will be installed, then RAM will be installed, then these all will be installed in cabinet, and then we also have power supply to power it. And the last thing I think that got left apart from UPS is SSD. And for sure, we are going with NVMe M.2 drive. So let me find the decent one. So depending on our budget, I would suggest you to go with a 1 TB SSD NVMe M.0. And then here we have got the first one from Samsung. Since this board is Zen 4.0 PCIe, I'm not going to recommend Zen 3 drive. Let me write Zen 4 as well. Okay. So this one look decent, good read and write. This one is also decent. No, I'm not gonna. No, let's close that one. Then this one is also decent. This one is good. So when we talk about these all sticks that I am selecting, these all SSD, they have almost a similar type of specs, whether we talk about their performance or we talk about their endurance rating. They all are rated for 600 terabyte of life. Let me actually close these RAMs. So all these drives, if you go deeper inside, I do not want to waste your time here. So if you go deeper inside, they are rated for 600 terabyte of read and write. So here you can see 600 terabyte of write. Sorry, it's not read and write, it's only write. So all these drives, no matter which one you buy, they have similar rating. And then 100 mbps, 200 mbps of difference in read and write does not make any difference. So here you are getting with Samsung 7000 mbps of definitely this one will be read, and around same is write. Okay, they should mention it somewhere else, somewhere here. So the write is 5100 mbps and read is this one. Then random read and random write is also very important. Other important factors are like DRAM cache, how big it is. That is also very important because especially during large data transfer, and then the memory controller also play a significant role. Samsung controllers are generally very nice. And then one more thing that these M.2 SSD, where I mean we need to take care of whether these storage are SLC or TLC or QLC. So the more bits you store in a single room, we can say in a way, the the probability of the quality of the storage is degraded. So as SLC only store one bit in a space, so that kind of storage is very expensive and then very reliable one. But nowadays QLC become a common standard with time. Although we also have, I mean, the company also have worked on their controller, memory controller, or the storage controller, we can say. So that also have helped these companies improve the life of these SSD. So based on considering all those factors, I can suggest you these three drives. You can go with either of them. And let me actually put their links one by one. This one is XPG GameX. And this one gonna cost you 5899. Let me actually also write their brand. So this one is XPG. If somebody want to go with this one, I would recommend you to go with Samsung or Seagate. Although these are slightly toward expensive side, but gonna give you good reliability. So Samsung 980. This one gonna cost you 7,999, which is nothing but 8,000. Why these companies write like this? Kind of perception. People feel that they are paying less, but that's not the truth. Okay, the last one here is a Fire CUDA. And this one gonna cost you same. Seagate is known for their drives. It's not like Samsung that, at one end is creating television, even creating military hardware and phones, storage. Seagate is very dedicated company. We know them just for their storage, and they really make a very decent one. But you can go with Samsung as well, since they are also in the same business since long. Okay, now coming to UPS, let me show you my favorite one, and I am pretty sure that it will work just fine with this configuration, which is APC BX600CIN. So this UPS will fulfill all your need, I would say, and going to cost you 3571. Let me actually write the name here. And the link. Oh my god, that's terrible. That's terrible, Preetham. Okay, so now we have got all our parts that we want to buy. Now let me add them one by one to my cart, and let's see how much it's going to cost me. Okay, okay. Come on, guys, I am removing my items that I have added to cart. So I hope that I will get at least one like. Okay, let me add this one. And in same way, let me add the Seagate one. Then RAM. I'm gonna do this just to show you how much all this will cost you. RAM, I think again I need to add one more. Okay. Now motherboard. Now let's add CPU. Then we have this PSU and cabinet. And this is a decent one, as I mentioned before. This combination will perfectly fine. Oh, okay, but here the power supply is of 500 watt. Let's not go with this one. Let me go with this one. This cabinet is really nice. What I am copying the price. Oops. Okay, don't get lost. Now the last item here is the power supply. And since I already have bought this in past, I can actually trust this one. This one is from Entech. Okay, so all the parts now being added, and there we go. Here we can see the whole setup going to cost us less than 50,000. And let me actually add my delivery address and show you the complete price that you can get. So let's say you have Amazon SBI card, then here we can see the kind of discount that we are getting. So if you pay it through EMI, you will be getting 3,200 rupees discount. Let's say you're gonna pay it upfront, then in that case, this whole amount will be subtracted by this one. So that's gonna make the whole configuration that today we discussed gonna cost 49908 minus 1950. So this will be the final price that you will be paying, and I believe the configuration that we went with, it's very decent enough, going to help you in all in smoothly running all productivity software. For example, as we have mentioned before, uh, your all day-to-day task, it will run very smooth. Then office apps, they will run without any flaw. And then we have added here 32 gigabyte of RAM that will ensure that no matter how many tabs you open in your browser, it won't have any issue. And then since we went with one of the latest configuration, the configuration is not that outdated. You can run this system for the next 7 to 8 years without any challenge or any issue. So let's again visit the whole configuration, and I'm gonna put this configuration in the description of this video. So if you are interested, you can for sure visit this configuration in the description of this video, and from there you can check it out. So PSU we went with let me actually open again. Okay, so these are the items in cart. For PSU we went with Ant eSport 600 watt PSU. That is good enough, or decent enough, I would say, to power every peripheral that we can add. Plus you can also add 4060 later on if you want to. Then for cabinet we went with Ant eSport, and we already have mentioned the kind of value that Ant eSports cabinet provide. They comes with magnetic net that ensures that the dust does not go inside the cabinet. And then the airflow, I would say, is not that bad, not that good or great, I would say, but is decent enough. Because here we are not using some of very powerful, we are using a mid-core CPU. So I would say the airflow is good enough. Then we are using Intel Core i5-12400, and I explained you the reason why we did not went for 13400, since we do not saw that much kind of performance gain. For the price we pay, that one is very costly, 24,000 something. Here we are getting this one at 17,300. Again, a very good good purchase and value for money. Then for motherboard, we went with MSI Pro B series B760M. The B stand for business or for pro user or for professional use. So you will not see any kind of bells and whistle, any kind of RGB and blah blah blah. You will see a simple, decent, reliable motherboard which you can trust on, and have all enough bells and whistle and enough IO to fulfill your need. With RAM, we went with CL16 Corsair LPX 16 gigabyte plus 16 gigabyte two sticks, which kind of ensure all your requirement. So no matter how many tabs you open in Chrome, you will not face any issue. And then here for SSD, we went for Gen 4 SSD Seagate Fire CUDA 1 terabyte that comes with 3D TLC cache, TLC NAND flash drive, which I would say is really nice. And then it have a higher transfer rate of 7300 Mbps. Okay, and then for UPS, as we discussed, we went for APC 600 CUPS. So a lot of people may ask why APC, just because it is expensive? No, it comes with AVR. It support gensets as well. Let's say there is a power cut in your society and then the genset is working, so it worked decently in case of genset as well. And APC is a German brand, I believe, and Schneider actually, the parent company of this brand is. So they make a very good electronics circuitry, and they are famous for their server UPS as well. And one thing we need to keep in mind: the UPS is only there to protect your device from sudden power cut. It is not to provide you backup for a long time. So a lot of people actually got confused. UPS is for longer duration. So if you rate it 1 or 2 just because it does not provide you 1 hour of backup, please don't do that. This is not UPS is made for. It is just made for power switchover, or give you time enough to shut down your system with proper saving of your document. So this is the actual use of UPS. So that's all, guys, from my side in this my first live stream. I hope that you enjoyed it. If yes, then don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. We will keep on bringing more value content to this channel, and I hope with your blessing we will keep on growing and making this channel a success. We will form a good community where everybody will get good information about PC hardware component, and I will make sure that you get a decent value for the price you pay. And in this way, you do not need to spend extra for the purpose of your build. So we will also come up in future that kind of live stream where we will uh, create these configuration based on the user requirement. Please let me know in comment down below what you want to see in my next live stream. I know I am speaking myself in this one, and I don't know, barely I saw some users, maybe because this channel is just brand new, and I'm pretty optimistic we will grow with time. Thank you and have a great weekend, guys. Bye bye.